And welcome to a new video. I'm starting the reading vlog a little bit late because I've already finished the first book, but I thought I would do a reading vlog of the Chestnut Spring series. I know I am very late to the game. These books are very popular and they've been popular for a long time, but I'm finally getting around to it. So I have just finished Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series and I really enjoyed it. Is it an all-time favorite contemporary romance? Probably not, but it was quickly, like fast-paced, it was a quick read, and I had fun. So this one follows Rhett, who is a bull rider, and Summer, who is a like PR person in training, basically. And she is assigned to him to be his personal PR person because he had some big PR scandal in that he insulted milk, and one of his main like sponsors is a dairy farm or something, and so everyone's mad. Look at my dogs just absolutely being weird in the background. So that is the premise of the story, and I really did enjoy it. I really liked the chemistry between them. I thought it was really, like, that aspect of the story was really well written, and I really liked the conflict in the end, actually. The thing that maybe let me down just a tiny bit is the writing itself was very like bare bones, and I wish it had been a little more, just a little more. I don't even know how to describe it, but like it was very like XYZ, like very, a little bit maybe too robotic, maybe that's the word. It wasn't bad, I just wanted more. Even if the writing style itself was maybe a little bit off, I do think the character development and the plot development was really, really well done. The characters had a very interesting conflict. Like, one is a professional setting and they're trying to get around like, oh, we probably shouldn't do this. Like, we are, like, I'm working with you, da 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 da. And then the conflict at the end of like, they push past that, like that's not even the main issue. And I think it maybe would have fell more flat if that was the main issue. That was just kind of one of the hurdles they had to get through. The conflict in the end really being a difference in, and like needing to understand each other better than they do, and like needing to understand the other person's needs, was really, really well written. And like, I know some people hate a third act breakup. I'm gonna be honest, I don't hate a third act breakup. I don't hate it. I think sometimes it's warranted and sometimes it makes sense in the story. And this one made sense. They had to have this fight to understand the other person, and so I really liked it. The thing that got me, the twist at the end, everything that happened with the doctor, what was his name, Rob, that whole backstory is so baffling to me. Like, it's wild. The abuse that she endured from that man is crazy, and I'm not gonna like spoil all the details of it in case you're like me and haven't gotten around to reading this story yet. I don't know. I'm gonna try and keep this vlog maybe spoiler free, maybe it won't be, I don't know. But like the whole conflict and the argument at the end was crazy. Makes me feel so bad for Winter. I hate that the sisters' names are Summer and Winter. It's horrible. It's horrible. Way too campy for me, but I'll let that go. But I asked my sister, because she's read all these already and recommended them to me, if Winter gets a book, and she does. So I'm very, very interested to see, I don't know which one it is, but I'm very interested to see what her story is, because we leave her off in a very delicate situation. And I just feel really, really bad for her. I mean, I feel bad for Summer too, for how she's been treated by her so-called family members, and by that doctor, but I'm very interested to see where the rest of the story goes. So that is, oh, one other thing in this, the spice was really good. I really enjoyed it. Maybe a 3 out of 5 on like the spicy scale rating. Not the spiciest book I've read, but definitely heavier than some other contemporary romances. One scene though, what gave me the worst ick ever, and maybe I'm just not into country things, I'm not into cowboy vibes, which is not true because I love my, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. My 1800s cowboy romance, historical romances, love those. If I think of the name, I'll put it in the typing thing. Lauren, no, I can't see where the books are. Oh, here's one. This isn't one I've read, but this is part of the series. Linda Lale Miller, love her. Love these cowboys. But there was a scene in this. He got her a gift to like surprise her, and they were chaps. That's fucking disgusting. Actually, I'm gonna look up what chaps even look like. But like, why? First of all, if someone ever put that in a gift bag and gave that to me like it was a gift, disgusting. This is a joke. This has to be a joke. There's no way this was the gift. This is so fucking stupid. This is a Harley Davidson brand. So the more for motorcycle riding than horse. But like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I know that they serve a purpose, I guess. But this is stupid. And like, the scene was it was like a sexy scene. And I was just sitting here like, you know what I was thinking of? I'll show you. I'll show you what I was thinking of the entire time. Which was ruining the vibes. This is so horrible. I'm so sorry. This is what I was thinking of. Come on, focus. Focus on my joke. Yep. I was thinking of Coachella James Charles. I don't even know if that's the edit or if that was real. But he's definitely worn chaps to Coachella multiple times. I just don't know if that was necessarily the real photo or face-tuned, like, fake one, but there was a lot. He's done it before. I know that's real. So that's what I was thinking of. So anyway, finished Flawless. I will check in whenever I read the next one. I don't even know which one's next. And I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I'm gonna vlog it all and I'll compile the footage eventually. So I'll see you when I get to the next one. For my pajamas, I'm looking extra tired. I'm about to get ready to go to bed, but I finished Heartless by Elsie Silver last night, or early this morning I should say. So I wanted to wrap this up for my Chestnut Springs vlog. I did like it. I don't know, I honestly don't know if I liked the first one or the second one better at this point. This one used a trope in the end that I'm actually not going to spoil. Usually this trope I don't consider it a spoiler, but in this book I would. But that made me love it a lot more. I will talk more, like with Willa, I liked her, but she took me a long time to really start to like her. The first half of the book I was just like not vibing with her as a character, but once we kind of got into the second half, or even later into the book, I was like, okay, actually I'm enjoying this. But Kate I really, really liked. And I liked the nanny romance setup. I thought that was good. And overall, yeah, I was a fan. It actually only took me a couple days to read, which is crazy. Let me look and see on Goodreads how many pages this is. Because it's like a crazy long book for being a contemporary. I hate how many buttons you have to press now to get to like your recently read books on Goodreads. Yeah. View book details. 476 pages. So 500 pages is a long book for contemporary romance, but it read so quickly that it ended up being okay. I loved seeing the little hint of winter in this story. I'm very, very interested in her book. I think hers is book number 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Book 3 is going to follow the kind of bonus brother, the hockey player one. I'm excited about that. But yeah, I liked it. I'm not picking up the next one right away, and I don't think it's necessarily a fault of this series. But I also, like, I don't typically read contemporary series back to back to back. That's just a lot because they get a little repetitive, which is the nature of contemporary romance. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I did it with these Tessa Bailey books, and very rarely I'm picking up contemporary romances back to back. So I think part of it is I just don't really do that with contemporary romances, and part of it is that I just read all of the Tessa Bailey books. Did I say Tessa Dare before? I might have. I meant Tessa Bailey. And then I also read a hockey romance on my Kindle, and so I feel like I just need a break for a minute from contemporary romance. So I'm going to I'm gonna set it down for a little while, and I'll come back to book 3 when I feel like it. But yeah, overall I did like it. I liked the dynamic. I liked that the actual, like, the couple didn't get together till a bit later in the book compared to the first one, from what I remember. I don't know what the tagline for this one is. I saw in my book club discussion, because the Flawless is the first one, I used it as my book club book, and so one of my friends said, like, I want to petition it to get changed, that is not an enemies to lovers. And I would agree. I don't think the first one was an enemies to lovers. I don't know what the tagline for Heartless was. Maybe just nanny romance. That's accurate. And I really liked that dynamic. But yeah, Willa just took a while for me to, like, get used to, but in the end I still did enjoy it. So that is my update. Feeling very sleepy, so I'm gonna go get some rest, and I will see you vlog next time I read that book. Who knows when it'll be, but I'll see you for whatever the third book is called. Powerless, I think? I don't know. I'll see you next time.
Several days later.
Oh, an update. Many months later. I haven't updated this vlog in I don't know when. It is currently July, and I have finally moved on in the Chestnut Spring series. I just finished Powerless. Also got the new Kindle Color Soft. Really loving it. I really enjoyed this one. I read it in only 2 days, which is crazy because it's 500 pages. So, like, how did I read it in like 2.5 days while my little hat thing is getting in camera? Like, how did I read it so fast while also working shifts? I don't know. It genuinely just reads that quickly. I really enjoyed this one. So Powerless, this one follows the Eaton boys' cousin, Sloane. That name doesn't, like, it didn't seem to, like, really fit her personality, but that's beside the point. And their adopted brother, Jasper. And Jasper was one of the books I was most excited to get to, because he is a hockey player, and if you know anything about me, you know that I love a hockey romance. So I was really excited. Definitely prefer the hockey romance over the, like, cowboy romance part of it. So I was really excited, and it did not disappoint. Loved it. Loved when she, like, wore his jersey and stuff. It was just so much fun. But they have been best friends for a really long time. She's always had a crush on him, but they met when she was 10 and he was 15, 14 or 15. And so, like, she had a crush, and he was just like, okay, she's the, the little girl in the family, and and then when she was 18 and he would have been, what, 23, she tried to ask him to prom, and he's like, I literally just started, like, in the NHL, like, you can't bring me to prom, everyone will think it's weird, blah 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 blah. Which, to be fair, she was mad at him for that, and I was like, but he was right on that one, like, you couldn't do that. But and the book starts with her engagement party and her wedding to somebody else, and that was a wild way to start a book. I like to start a romance when it's not the character that like the characters that the book is about, and I really loved it. I thought it was such a fun twist, and just the way she reacted to everything was so funny. She just was, like, laughing at her horrible circumstances, and it was a great time to read. I really liked these characters. I liked the chemistry. I don't like the live people cover as much. I don't like that. I don't love a live people cover for contemporaries, but regardless, yeah, I had a really fun time. I liked them kind of getting over themselves so that they could really get to know each other better. Even though they were best friends and they knew everything about each other, but getting to know each other in a different way. There was a road trip that was fun. There's only one bed trope that was fun. And I really liked the character of Sloane. She goes through a very interesting emotional journey, which I think is, like, one of my favorites to read for a female main character, is that she, like, kind of has to learn to say no and to stand up for herself and like not just be so agreeable, to not be the good girl. Like that was her whole journey, and I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, I had a great time. I think so far this is my favorite one. I do really like the first one, and I like the tropes in the second one, but it's not an all-time favorite book. But this one, like, genuinely, like, I would put this in a top contenders contemporary romance. It's not like my all-time favorite of all time kind of thing, but that was repetitive. I'm so sleepy and the dog's barking at who knows what. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I am going to be starting the next one, which is Reckless, which is Winter's Story, which I'm so excited for. I'm going to start that one tomorrow, and I will update you when I finish. So I'll see you later. Hello, an update for my Elsie Silver vlog. I have just finished Reckless. That's not the cover, obviously, but I just finished it, so I thought I would wrap up my thoughts. I have a lot of issues with this one, which is unfortunate. I feel so like of two minds because it has been my favorite couple, my favorite two characters, especially Winter. I think writing wise, I think Winter was a much stronger main character than the previous three books. The stronger female character anyway. I do think Jasper in book 3 was a very strong main character. But Winter has been by far the most interesting to read, the strongest written, the most compelling, the most complex, the most like human feeling. And yet she, I think, was let down by the writing choices made in this book. And what I am so baffled by, maybe it is just personal preference. Honestly, if you ask me, I think it's bad writing. And I would say that like point blank, but I guess maybe it is personal preference. I don't know. Because it's got the highest Goodreads rating of the 5 books, and I'm just so baffled. I'm aware I do not like time jumps in books. And not even just in books. I don't like them in shows. I don't like them. I didn't like it when they did it in Avengers Infinity War. I didn't like it when they did it in New Girl. I'm probably not going to like it when they do it in Stranger Things in a couple of months. I think that it is lazy writing. I think that it just does not work. I think that there can be dual timelines where it makes sense. The 2019 Little Women, where we're showing both the past and the present. Yeah, the past and the present. That I think can be made workable. But I think when we set up a story and not even just that it's a time jump, it's used as a plot device, as a twist. Oh my god, 18 months have passed. What a twist. That's not a twist. You're just lazy and you skipped the 18 months in between. I hate time jumps. And I know that about myself. I still sometimes am left like haunted by Avengers Infinity War. I think that was the dumbest movie. There are obviously aspects of that movie that I love. We're not talking about Avengers right now though. But I think the time jump is stupid. And I think the time jump in this book was stupid. I think it was a bad writing. And on the surface, I already don't like the time jump. I don't understand why it was chosen for this book, for these characters. And then when you actually look at like the plot hole and the logistics of it, it doesn't make any sense, because the whole point of this series, of the Chestnut Spring series, it is a small town, it's cozy, it's family, it's, like everyone knows everybody, like that kind of vibe of a small town romance. And yet you're telling me this character, Theo, who works under Rhett, Rhett is the coach for whatever, the bull riding. They spend time together every single week, if not every single day, honestly, because I imagine training for a professional sport, if bull riding, I guess, is a sport, which I never really knew, but you would have to be training probably every day, if not, 5 days a week. And you're telling me, and let's even say with Theo on the road the whole time, he still would be checking in with his coach throughout. If the coach wasn't traveling with him, he's still checking in. You're telling me in 18 months of Theo and Rhett's conversations, Rhett never mentioned, not once, that his sister-in-law was having a baby and that she had had a baby. The amount of, like, that Rhett must talk about Summer, how could he not talk about her sister, Winter? How could he not be like, oh yeah, Summer's at, Winter's house helping with the baby today. Summer's at, at Winter's, at the hospital with Winter, she's having her baby. Oh, like she took Winter to an appointment today for an ultrasound because she's pregnant. That, I just do not believe that conversation or some semblance of that conversation did not happen over this lazy ass 18-month time jump. So, and okay, I could get past that if it was then explained as to why that conversation ever happened. Did Theo not talk to Rhett for 18 months? Was there a falling out there? Maybe. Okay, if that's the case. If this time jump happened, if the time jump happened just from Theo's point of view, I maybe could have been like, okay, if we skip his 18 months and something caused him to crash out, he cuts off everybody in his life, something terrible happens, and then he comes back after that 18 months and has to reconcile all of those bridges he burned, that could have made sense. And then we could have spent some of that time zone. I understand that this can't be a 700-page book, but we could have maybe spent some of that time in Winter's mind, getting to see the pregnancy, getting to see her grappling with the feelings that she has, that she's tried to tell this man she's having his baby, and that they're trying to reconcile some sort of relationship, but, not receiving, anything back. That kind of thing, wondering what happened, why wouldn't he call back, blah, blah, blah. Could have spent some time, and then her having the baby and like da-da-da, and then he comes back and rebuilds those relationships and realized what he missed. That could have made sense. But you're telling me Theo went on his normal life for 18 months, traveling and working, not cutting anybody off, still presumably living a normal life. He stopped partying is what he says, but that doesn't mean he stopped talking to Rhett, his best friend and mentor and coach. And oh my God, it was just so bad. It was just so bad. And I'm just so infinitely frustrated with is that I loved these characters. I loved Winter and Theo. I thought they were incredibly written characters. I thought Winter was so interesting and complex and messy, and I just really, really, really enjoyed her character. And I loved getting to see her grapple with her past and accept, the past and move forward and all of that. She could use a therapist. I don't think she ever mentioned getting a therapist. She probably should have, but she reminded me so much of Nesta from A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I love Nesta, and so I loved Winter, and I think that they had an incredible relationship. They messed up a lot, but not in like the boring way sometimes that romances, where the couple messes up. Like, they messed up in realistic, messy ways, and it was great, and I loved it. It's just the time jump really kind of ruined the book for me. And the giant plot holes, and I'm just so confused how no one in these Goodreads reviews saw it. I'm like, am I the only one sitting here wondering, did I miss something? Did I misread something? Maybe I completely missed a chapter and they explained all of this, but it put a really bad taste in my mouth. And I almost didn't finish. I almost just DNF'd, but I was like, you know what? These books are so fast. Let me just finish. So I did, and I liked it to an extent, but I do think it was badly written. I think this one was badly written, unfortunately. So this vlog has been kind of a roller coaster. Anyway, I'm on the last one. The last one is called Hopeless, I believe. Yes, it is called Hopeless. This one is, I wanted to do the cover. Hopeless. Look at my beautiful color Kindle. This one is about Bo. I can already tell you my first con is going to be that the character's name is Bo. That's a stupid name. I'm sorry if that's your name, but I just don't believe that is a real person's name. I've never met anyone with that name, and I do not believe that real people have that name. I'm interested in this one. I actually have no clue who the female lead in this book is, so I guess we're just gonna find out. We're just gonna have fun and figure it out. Let's see how long this one is. This one has only 4.5 hours left in the book. So I don't know how many pages it is. Let's look. All of her books are like 500 pages. It's crazy. But then at the same time, they read so fast. So I feel like they must not actually, even if they're that many pages, maybe they're not that many words. Let me see how many pages this one is. 486. Short. It's a short book. So I'm going to finish that. Hopefully read it in the next day or so, and I will update you and let you know what I think. Hopefully I like it better than the last one. So I'll see you when I'm done. Hello, I was just getting ready for work, but I did end up finishing the last Elsie Silver book last night. I was trying to remember the name of it. Hopeless. So I wanted to wrap that up really quick. That was the last one in the Chestnut Spring series. This video took me actual months to make, but then the last 3 books I read all in 3 days, maybe 4 days. It was a very short amount of time, but I really liked this last one. I liked the characters. My only qualm, I stand by that, Bo, is I just don't like that as a character name. And then the age gap was a little much for me, but nothing like that really affected the story, in my opinion. So overall, I really liked it. The main character reminded me a lot of Booth from Bones, so I was having a great time. And I just thought the characters had really good chemistry. I liked this setup, the like fake engagement to try and like booster her reputation and then kind of give him an excuse to not be answering to his family so much. And it just really organically felt like it moved from like a fake idea to something real between them. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well written. I enjoyed the characters, and I think what I liked the most about this one, I think I would actually maybe even put it, I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know if I could rank them. Maybe I should. But I think what puts it towards the top is I thought Bailey was such an interesting character. And then I think what the other thing that kind of really puts it at the top for me is that I like that they don't follow the same plot as the other books, and like that the characters don't follow the same plan. They don't settle down and, you know, into Chestnut Springs and get married and have babies. Love that ending. I do. But I liked that it was something different. So then they, you know, they move out of town and they live their lives, and I really enjoyed that. So it was a good one. I thought it was a really fun one, and I just thought the characters worked really well together. Let's see if I can rank them. So I think for me, probably the hockey one is going to be number 1. So that was Jasper and Sloane. I think that's my top one. And then honestly, I think Bailey and Bo is going to be number 2. So Hopeless. So Powerless, Hopeless. Probably Heartless. So that was Willa and Cade is his name, right? Yeah. Loved that one because it was an Annie romance. And then I'm so conflicted because, I mean, probably I'd say Reckless with Winter and Winter and Theo. If I'm ranking the couples, Winter and Theo is going to be number 2 probably after Sloane and Jasper. But if I'm ranking the books, Reckless will go lower. I don't know. So we'll go Reckless next, and then I guess Flawless last. Which is not a book. It's not a book I disliked. I just liked all the other ones better. So, well, there's still the other series too. Gold Rush Ranch is the other series that I. There's also Rose Hill. Here's Gold Rush, which I believe follows characters that live in the town where where the sister lives. So it's the sister and her friends. How many books are in that series? 4. Okay. And then there's a series called Rose Hill, which I think it does take place in the same universe. Because, this one has... So the first one of Rose Hill has Willa's brother, who at the end of the last one. It was Willa and Cade's wedding and he did a toast, and I'm thinking, this guy's really funny. I really like this character. He is in the first book of the next series, so that makes sense. So I probably should just start reading all of her books. So if you want reading vlogs for those, let me know, I guess. But I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I make booktube videos and read lots of books, so I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!